8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madhavela and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. No decision has been taken regarding a nationwide lockdown. The government says that the inoculation program is successfully implemented at present. The Ministry of Public Administration has issued the circular pertaining to operating state sector institutions with limited essential staff. A rapid initiative of constructing 15 ward complexes within 48 hours has been implemented. Korea has agreed to provide concessional loans amounting to $500 million to Sri Lanka. The drone unit of the police special task force will commence its traffic operations from tomorrow. China to set up separation line at Everest summit. The Army Commander General Shavindra Silva says that no decision has been taken regarding an island-wide lockdown. He requested the public not to panic or rush to shops and supermarkets and to refrain from forming long queues to stock food or essential items. However, the Army Commander stated that travel restrictions could be imposed within the next few days, preventing travel between provinces. The Army Commander added that there is a possibility that provincial travel restrictions would be imposed considering the spike in COVID-19 infections and the manner in which people travel to various areas. He stated that it is most likely that entering and exiting the Western Province would be prohibited except for essential services and essential workers in the coming days. The government says that the inoculation program is successfully implemented at present. More than 935,000 persons have been given the first dose of the COVID jab at present. Around 200,000 persons have been given the second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine. The AstraZeneca, Sputnik and Sinopharm vaccines are being given to the people in this country at present. Meanwhile, the number of Sri Lanka's COVID-19 cases passes 127,000 today with the confirmation of 1,581 new infections thus far. Accordingly, the country's total coronavirus cases rose to 127,487. 21,075 individuals are currently being treated for the virus, with 1,249 suspect cases under observation. The Ministry of Public Administration has issued the circular pertaining to operating state sector institutions with limited essential staff. The letter has been directed to the ministry secretaries, the heads of departments, the district secretaries, the government agents, the divisional secretaries, and the heads of state corporations and statutory boards. The circular will come into effect from today. Accordingly, secretaries and heads of institutions are granted the authority to decide to call in minimum staff required to carry out functions of the government without interruption. The circular states that a shift or formal roster should be followed. Apart from this, when a roster is prepared, action should be taken to deduct the date on which the officer does not report for duty from their personal leave only if the date of absence falls within the duty roster. As per the instructions, steps must be taken not to call pregnant officers for service. The circular also cites that all officers should be prepared to perform duties online, even when an officer is not called for duty. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank Isuru Udana gift certificates, a valuable gift for any child.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna has implemented a rapid initiative of constructing 15 ward complexes within 48 hours. This will be implemented within the areas where most numbers of COVID patients are reported. The initiative will be implemented under the guidance of the chairman of the Presidential Task Force for Economic Revival and Poverty Eradication, Basil Rajapaksa. The government of the Republic of Korea has agreed to provide concessional loans amounting to $500 million to Sri Lanka. This loan will be issued from the Economic Development Cooperation Fund of the Export-Import Bank of Korea in order to further strengthen the economic cooperation between the two countries. The loan interest rate on this concessional loan is about as low as 0.15% to 0.20%, and the loan has a repayment period of about 40 years with a grace period of 10 years. The drone unit of the police special task force will commence its traffic operations from tomorrow. The aim of this project is to reduce the traffic congestion in the Colombo city and nab the drivers who violate the traffic rules. The drone operations will be carried out along the Gaul Road, the High Level Road, the Parliament Road and the Negombo Road. Former Prime Minister and the leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe, today making a special statement on the rapid spread of COVID-19 in the country, urged the President and the Cabinet of Ministers to take control of the worsening situation in the country. Pointing out that the committees appointed to control the pandemic have failed, the former Premier called on the President and the Cabinet to take full powers to protect the people from this pandemic. That's local news.
Your sister got him the most valuable gift of all.
My family will do anything for our child's future.
People's Bank Isuru Udana gift certificates, a valuable gift for any child.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Tourism Minister Prasanna Ranatunga says that a program will be planned and implemented immediately to repatriate Sri Lankans who have gone to India for health reasons or other reasons. The minister further stated that necessary action will be taken in this regard after next week. He was responding to questions raised by journalists after inspecting the construction of a 2,000-bed intermediate COVID treatment centre in Veralavatta, Gampaha. Speaking further, the minister said that he hopes to bring Sri Lankans from India to Sri Lanka in an organised manner and that airports have been organised for this purpose.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight, General Shavindra Silva, the commander of the army and the head of the National Operations Centre for the Prevention of COVID-19, today announced that 16 Grama Nidari divisions in the Gampaha, Ampara, Ratnapura, Kalutara and Monragara districts have been designated as isolated areas with effect from this morning. That came to you in Watchlight, and now in World News headlines. China to set up separation line at Everest summit. Taliban declare 3-day Eid ceasefire in Afghanistan. Malaysia has 1 MDB and former units sue to recover $23 billion. China says it will set up a line of separation at the summit of Mount Everest in order to prevent climbers mingling with others from Nepal. It comes less than a week after mountaineers and authorities at base camp in Nepal warned of rising cases of COVID among climbers. Everest stands on the border between China and Nepal, and mountaineers climb it from both sides. It is not yet clear how China will enforce the rules on the mountain. The summit is a dome of snow with space for 6 people standing, and on busy days, climbers have to queue to gain access to it. A team of Tibetan mountaineering guides is being dispatched to the summit to set up the line. It will be in place before the arrival of a group of Chinese climbers who are currently on their way. The Taliban today announced a 3-day ceasefire for the Muslim holiday of Eid that marks the end of the holy month of Ramadan this week. But hours later, roadside bombing killed 11 passengers on a bus in eastern Afghanistan, the latest in relentless violence that has gripped the country. No one immediately claimed responsibility for the bombing. Responding to the ceasefire announcement, the government in Kabul, which has faced rising attacks as US and NATO troops pull out of Afghanistan, called for a permanent truce. A statement from the presidential palace chastised the Taliban for the increasing violence, but said the government would also observe the holiday ceasefire. The Taliban said the ceasefire would begin on either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on the sighting of the new moon that determines the start of the holiday. Malaysia's finance ministry said on Monday that Sovereign Wealth Fund 1MDB and a former subsidiary have filed 22 lawsuits to recover assets worth over $23 billion from various institutions and individuals. The 1MDB fund was set up by former Prime Minister Najib Razak in 2009, but it accumulated billions in debts and sparked investigations in the United States and several other countries. US investigators allege that over $4.5 billion was stolen from 1MDB and laundered by Najib's associates. Earlier this month, 1MDB filed 6 suits against 9 entities, including 2 foreign financial institutions and 25 people for various violations, including breach of trust, fraud and negligence. The SRC filed 22 lawsuits against 15 individuals and 8 entities over for similar wrongdoings. And now the main points of the world news segment once again. China to set up separation line at Everest summit. Taliban declare 3-day Eid ceasefire in Afghanistan. Malaysia's 1MDB and former units here to recover $23 billion. That was world news, and now in development news, the Sri Lanka Police Special Task Force for the first time has established a special unit named the Special Waterborne Operations Squad to curb the illegal activities on the island's water and reservoirs. Police spokesperson DIG Ajit Rohana said that the new unit has been set up under the supervision of the commandant of the SDF, DIG Varuna Jayasundara, and a team of 16 officers have been selected for this purpose. The officers have also been given 2 weeks of training by the experts from the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crimes and the Sri Lanka Power Boat Association, the STF said.
Sports News is brought to you by...
When Aya bought a motorbike, he bought 2 helmets. So sweet of him. I'm sure the other one is for me.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie's Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie's Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Russian F1 driver Nikita Maspin took a knee on Sunday but gave the gesture new meaning by honouring World War II victims and veterans as Russia marked the 76th anniversary of victory over Nazi Germany. Russia held parades and ceremonies across the country on the 9th of May to honour the estimated 27 million Soviet citizens who lost their lives in the war against Hitlerite forces, which came to an end in 1945. Away from parades such as these on Moscow's iconic Red Square, F1 driver Maspin made a tribute of his own at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya racetrack in Spain.
My wife always sets a full lunch table even if it's just the two of us. She always expects people to drop by, like maybe the army.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie's Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie's Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The United Arab Emirates will buy entry to non-UAE resident travellers from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal and Sri Lanka starting on Wednesday to try to contain the spread of the coronavirus. The UAE last month banned entry to travellers from India to guard against the spread of the highly contagious Indian variant.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001. Is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Afghanistan's Ministry of Information and Culture will soon sign a memorandum of understanding on cultural cooperation with Sri Lanka. According to the agency, Afghanistan and Sri Lanka have a long-standing cultural and historical relationship, and the MOU on cultural cooperation will be signed soon between the two countries, said Mohammad Tahir Zuhair, the acting Minister of Information and Culture, during a meeting with the Sri Lankan ambassador to Kabul, retired Admiral Pial de Silva.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Showers or thundershowers will occur over most parts of the island during the evening or night. Showers or thundershowers will occur in the western, Sabargama, northwestern and southern provinces during the morning too. Fairly heavy rainfall above 75 millimeters can be expected in some places, Sabargama central and Uva provinces. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize the damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during the thundershowers.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education introduces Nanasir, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. No decision has been taken regarding a nationwide lockdown. The government says that the inoculation program is successfully implemented at present. The Ministry of Public Administration has issued the circular pertaining to operating state sector institutions with limited essential staff. A rapid initiative of constructing 15 ward complexes within 48 hours has been implemented. Korea has agreed to provide concessional loans amounting to $500 million to Sri Lanka. The drone unit of the Police Special Task Force will commence its traffic operations from tomorrow. China to set up separation line at Everest Summit. That concludes this news broadcast.